y'all, it's Heather, and I'm so excited because my collaboration palette with Adept Cosmetics is restocking. I am going to be creating two looks with my palette, and I'm collaborating with my beautiful friend Amy from Amy Loves Makeup. I'm gonna use her collaboration. Look at this gorgeous cool toned dream. I'm gonna use her collaboration with my collab palette, and we're gonna do two looks. I am super excited about this. I absolutely love Amy. Y'all should totally watch her video. I will have it linked down below. Check out her channel. I know you are gonna love her. She is such a sweetheart. And look at this palette. Like, look at her beautiful color story. I want to show you our palettes swatched together. I have been watching Amy for years and years and years, and I finally got to meet her in person last year, and just instant connection, instant friends. She's just such an awesome person, very supportive and kind and funny, and just the type of friend and woman you want to be around, you know? So when she asked me if I would collab with her, if I wanted to create looks with both of our palettes together, I was 100% down, and that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna link to both of the palettes down below in the description box and in a pinned comment for you. I do have an affiliate code with Adept. It is Heather. If you want to save money, it will work on both of these collabs and everything on the Adept site. I am wearing Amy's face palette with Adept. I'm wearing both of the highlighter shades actually, and this beautiful coral blush called Cupid. So definitely check this out too. I'm just excited to play with makeup. I'm gonna grab my eyeshadow primer and zoom you in. I've got my eyeshadow primer on, and we're gonna jump straight in with Amy's palette. Look at this beautiful packaging. Like, I love the packaging that she has for her palette. It has beautiful Amy Loves right here in silver, and we're gonna use this shade right here called Mi Amor. I love that. I'm gonna grab a brush from my Sigma favorite set, and we're gonna start with this blue shade. I'm starting off by kind of like pressing this right here in my socket. I'm gonna start with a little bit at a time. I'm just putting a little bit on my brush and dipping kind of back and forth because I don't want to build this up too much. So I would rather keep going into the pan, into the pan, into the pan, than start with too much shadow. And I'm gonna extend the shadow out right here, and I'm gonna bring this up higher. Now that I kind of have that shade on, I wanna blend upwards instead of down because I want this to be kind of up and out like this. This is such a beautiful shade. I know I have a video all on Amy's palette already. You can definitely check that out. I remember I got to see this palette before it was announced, and I gasped when I saw it. And I remember thinking after the initial, like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, give it to me, I need the sparkles, like, please, I need this palette, how can I wear this palette? After that kind of initial shock wore off, I thought, this is Amy in a palette. Like, I can see it. And if you showed me the palette with no names on it, nothing like that, and you said, like, which creator collaborated on this palette, I would have immediately said Amy. Like, it's so her. And I'm so excited to see her, like, have her vision come to life. And she did such a great job. I mean, Adept is a favorite brand for me. It's an independently owned brand. It's a woman-owned brand we love. I'm so happy to be combining these palettes. Now we're gonna jump on over to my palette, and we're gonna go in with PA02. If you didn't know, I do have a whole video where I'm talking about this palette. It's a couple of years old, and I'm explaining the names and everything like that. But I'm taking this shade, and I'm just gonna put it right on my lid in the outer portion of my lid right here, kind of up and out. And then I'm gonna put it on the inner part of my lid too. So this is a deep dark color. If you didn't know, I am a respiratory therapist, and that is where this name comes from, PA02. I said in my reveal video, if you see this color and you're looking at the PA02, it's one of those, this is not a good situation moments. So I will leave it at that and take this shade and just kind of stamping it on the lid so that we have this blank spot in the center, and then it kind of fades up to the blue. Now, if you want to recreate this look and you don't want something so colorful like I'm gonna do today, you could definitely use one of these cool tone neutral shades in Amy's palette rather than the blue. You could use this shade right here called 1997, or you could use Mocha, would work really, really pretty for this. That's definitely a way that you could take it more neutral. And I'm going to slowly blend, not going too far out because I don't want this PaO2 shade to come out too far. I definitely want to keep it a little closer to my lid, but I'm bringing this shade up above my lid. I'm going to utilize all the space I can, and I'm going to even pull this right up here into my socket. You can see in the swatch here on my finger that PaO2 is like a burgundy shade. It's saturated, it's deep, but when I pair it next to this cool toned blue and I really buff and blend it out and kind of just really blend, it transforms and it looks so purpley. It just, it gives like variation, right? Next to this blue, it's pulling so purple, and I've kind of sheared it out by blending. I mean, definitely not sheer, like we're still pigmented here, but I've really buffed and buffed. And when I've gotten to where the blue is, like up in here, it mixes with the blue to create a custom color. Same for right in here. So when I'm blending and I'm mixing that deep saturated like burgundy-ish color with this blue from Amy's palette, it's giving me a new color in purple, and I love that. Don't forget, you can always kind of like mix your shadows, and most of the time you have a good formula, you can create these custom colors. Like use a white to lighten a bright shade and give yourself like a new pastel color. You can use a black to deepen things up, and it gives you some versatility. I'm gonna put a black liner in my lower waterline, and I'm also gonna put it on my lower lash line. I'm gonna use it as a base for shadow. So just whatever black liner you like. I'm jumping back over to Amy's palette, and I'm gonna go in with this beautiful shade called Indie. This is a beautiful like turquoise color that shifts to this beautiful purple shade, and it has this holographic sparkle in it. I love it. I'm gonna pick it up on my brush, and with all my shimmers, I'm gonna pick them up, have the shadow on my brush, and then I'm gonna spray my brush with a little setting spray just to help me minimize any fallout, things like that. If I get fallout, it's not a big deal. My face is set with powder. I can brush it away, but it's gonna help me like minimize any of that. I've got the shade Indie. I'm going to put it right on top of that black liner, and I'm gonna press the shadow on top of the black first. I'm not gonna do any swiping, no blending, nothing like that. I'm just gonna press until I kind of have that liner set down with my shadow, and then I'm going to go and blend. I always talk to y'all while I'm doing my lower lash line, and I end up poking myself in the eye or like brushing my eye, and then my eye's red, and I need to stop doing that. We're jumping back over to my palette, and we're gonna go in with the Multichrome Austin. It's so hard to show this shade on camera, but of course I know, like I tried my best to show you all the shifts in the swatches, but I want to put this in the center of where we have the purple. So it's gonna go right in between, kind of where we left that space blank. And I'm gonna press the shadow off my brush first. There is a really pretty shift to the shade. It's why I named the shade Austin. Like, I love this shade so much. Of course, I love all the shades, but this one is so special. Once that shade is on the lid, I'm gonna slowly start to blend to make sure I don't have any harsh lines between the matte Austin and then the matte. With multi-chromes, duochromes, holochromes, really sparkly shadows, the more space you can give them, the more you're gonna see that shift and shine as you are wearing your look. Put one of these shades a special shade from my palette or Amy's palette, whatever, put it all over your lid as a one and done look. Just one shadow, mascara, keep it moving. It's gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be a look that seems like you have more than one shadow on your eye because of that shift. I'm so happy with how this look is coming together. It's time to highlight the inner corner, and we are gonna go in with this beautiful shade right here called Pink. I love this shade. Amy's palette has some beautiful light shimmer shades that I think just, they make me so happy. I think they're so beautiful. So I'm just gonna press that shade right on my inner corner to kind of give me some brightness. Let it kind of connect between PaO2 and Indie on the lower lash line. I'm gonna do mascara and a lash and be right back. Here is our finished look, and I cannot say how much I love this look. I am totally into this. I think me and Amy's palette paired so well together. I love the mix of shades. I love how the shades in her palette kind of bring out some of the new shifts and stuff in my palette, and vice versa. Like, I just really like these palettes together, and I'm so excited because not only are you gonna get the 2 looks from me today, but if you check out Amy's channel, you're gonna get 2 more looks, so 4 looks total with our palettes. I'm just excited about that. I don't know like what Amy is creating at the time that I'm filming this. I have not seen her looks, so I'm really excited to watch her tutorials and recreate them, and it's just gonna be so fun. I love playing with makeup. I love makeup. I love makeup. Can you tell? It's just fun to me. I won't go on and on. I'm so into my look. I will be quiet now. Here's one last look. Here's one last look at the blue, purple, halo type of eye, and we'll jump into look 2. I'm so looking forward to creating another look, mixing mine and Amy's palettes. I loved the first look, so we're gonna go in with the shade Atlas from my palette to start today. I'm gonna go just a little bit right in here. I've got my Game Beauty brush, and I'm gonna kind of fluff this in the socket, the crease, if you like that term, and I just want to kind of fluff this shadow on very lightly. Don't want to build it up too much, so I just picked up a little bit on the brush because this shade is very pigmented and buildable, so I don't want to just keep going in with too much shadow. So once I have it on my eye like that, I'm just gonna lightly blend to kind of buff it out. I'm gonna pull it out here and just work in little motions like this. There we go. I zoomed you in a little bit more so that you can see a little better. We're gonna go in with the shade Scrunchy in Amy's palette. I'm gonna pick that up on another Game Beauty brush. I'm just going to kind of coat all sides of the brush. And what I wanna do here is start this in the outer part of my lid. So I'm gonna kind of just press it right on top of the primer to get most shadow off here. And then this is an angled brush, so I'm going to lightly place an angle to my shadow. So not like this sharp wing or anything like that. Kind of just press first, and then I'll go back and blend in a minute. I just want to get that shape down with my shadows so I kind of can visualize where I want the shades to go, and then I can always go back and blend in a bit. I'll also put that same shadow with the same brush right under the lower lash line, just in the outer part, not bringing it any further in than this. And again, I'm just gonna press the shadow on first, and then I'll blend. Now I want to start kind of blending this so it's a little more blown out and less intense or harsh. It doesn't look bad like this, but it doesn't look super blended. So I'm going back in with the first brush I used with the shade Atlas. I didn't pick up any additional shadow on my brush, but I'm just gonna start going around kind of the edges of the Scrunchy shade, and I'm gonna just lightly start to blend. I don't want them to look like one color. I don't want to over blend like that, but I do want to kind of soften the edges and everything like that. So I'm just going back and forth. I'm so happy that Amy and I are collabing on this video. I mentioned when I was doing my video on her palette, you can definitely check it out because I created some looks and her blush palette and everything. But I mentioned that I thought our palettes would be really beautiful and I wanted to create some looks, and I have done that, but I haven't filmed them because I do like to play with makeup when I am not filming too. Like, I just love makeup. So I've created a couple of looks, and I really just think that they make an unexpected pairing that's really beautiful. And I was so happy that Amy messaged me and asked, did I want to do a video together creating some looks with these palettes. Amy's just such a cool person to ask me. I mean, we know each other like off camera too, but we've never collabed on a video together on YouTube. So I was super happy when she asked me. And I mean, look at how beautiful that shade Scrunchy is blending out. Even though it's so dark and it's so cool toned, it's just blending out perfectly with my warm tone Atlas shade. Now I'm going to take this small little brush and I'm going to go into my palette to the shade Scrubs. You can see the multi-chrome. If you look in the mirror, you look at the palette, then as I move it, you can see that blue, turquoise, purple. It's like, those are the three main colors, but then it also kind of goes to this like cobalt and magenta, and there's so many like nuances in this shade. But I'm gonna pick this up and I'm going to spray my brush with setting spray after I have the shadow on the brush. You don't have to, it's just gonna help me like minimize any fallout. And I'm going in the pan like this, both sides of my brush, and making sure I get the top of the brush too. I'm gonna get my face up close to the mirror. I'm gonna press the shadow on first. Once I have the shade pressed on like this, I'll start to blend it. I'm just adding back in a little bit of that shade Scrunchy right in here. I'm gonna be spraying every shimmer with a setting spray. I just like to do that. It minimizes fallout. So going forward, every single shimmer will be sprayed with setting spray. I'm gonna take this shade right here called Vibes. This beautiful like gunmetal color that has so much sparkle to it. And this is a rougher brush. I'm gonna put that in the center of my lid, and I'm just gonna take it straight up, okay? So like straight up to my socket, above my like crease, because the crease for my lid would be right in here. I wanna make my eyes look even more open. So you definitely don't have to take your shimmer up this high. If you don't want to, you can keep it lower. Like I should stop right here, right? To keep it on my lid. But I'm taking it way above my lid to kind of give myself some more space. And then how this comes out at an angle, I just want to cover where we have Atlas and meet where we have our Scrunchy shade. So I'm not going to take it down here to cover this up. It's going to go in the center of the lid, and then when I get up here, is where I'm going to kind of fill in that empty space. So we have shimmer and more area of our lid and socket and all of that. It's coming together. I love the way these shades are looking, but we're going to go in with Hey Y'all. This purpley, sparkly shade. I'm not going to say I love because like obviously it's mine. I love. And I want to take this right on the innermost part of the lid and up above my lid right in here. So I'm going to press the shadow on and blend. It's in such a small space right here, so it's going to be not the main focus of the look, but it's gonna be that little something something, you know? I'm gonna go and blend, no additional shadow on my brushes, just kind of looking at the look and seeing where I need to blend, maybe if I need to add something or blend something, and just kind of going over. Let's take a tiny touch of this silvery baby blue. This is called Stunning. And I'm not spraying my brush with the shadow because I don't want this to be extra impactful. I just want it to be a little highlight moment with this beautiful cool tone. I'm gonna press it on right there. I'm gonna do liner and a lash. I'm gonna see if I need to blend anywhere, and I will be right back. All right, y'all, here is the finished look with Adept Cosmetics and me and Amy. I really love my look. I had fun creating these looks, mixing and matching our palettes. I love Amy's palette. I think she did such an amazing job, and of course, I love her cheek palette too. I hope that you will check out Amy's channel, and I hope that you will check out her collaboration. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you watch this video, it supports me and Amy so much, so I definitely appreciate you. I'm gonna link some more Adept videos for you, so if you want to stick around and watch some more Adept content, maybe you're interested in the brand, you want to see what's good, definitely check out these videos. But thank you so much for watching, and hang out, talk makeup with me, because I can and do talk about makeup all day, every day.